Hi, I'm Lauren Kay, and I'm an alcoholic from Detroit. My sobriety date is November 21st, 2004. I'm 38 years old, and I will have 18 years of sobriety in 2 weeks, God willing. My story is like everybody else's that's going to leave these messages. We all have been through times of loneliness and darkness, and the fact that I can sit here, driving and just giving back in the middle of a couple of errands is truly what keeps me sober. The fact that I'm still willing to do stuff like this, as well as why I enjoy being sober, because I can do things like this. I grew up in a really nice middle-class home. We never wanted for anything. The area that I grew up in, everybody had more, but we never went without. I started feeling like this feeling when I was around people that I was alone, that even if I was in a crowded room, I was alone. There were a lot of times where I thought, people don't know me, who I really am. Now, you got to think, you're a 12 or 13-year-old in middle school, almost high school, and I'm sitting here feeling like nobody knows me. Why? Why? For whatever reason, whether I can blame my parents or I can blame whatever, my alcoholic personality, my choices that I made were to fill the hole. So when the opportunities came to me, as they come to most young people, I chose to, I was scared of drinking. I was scared. The first time I drank, I was at a friend's house, and I always remembered the measure and control that I put into making sure that I didn't get too intoxicated. At the first drinks, I don't remember much, but I remember like hiding in a closet with friends, and this was probably in 7th grade. And I remember we were drinking, and I just was scared. Everything scared me, but it didn't stop me. The things that I was scared of, one could almost say that I went running towards as opposed to running away from. Maybe I thought I was going to get a handle on things if I were to experiment with them. Regardless of that, every person has a different idea of if somebody is born an alcoholic or not. I know that I was born with that inside of me, and it just was triggered in my early youth. There were a couple incidences that should have made me stop. Any normal person that is not an alcoholic would have stopped, like bringing my aunt to the hospital for, I couldn't even tell you what exactly, but she had cirrhosis of the liver, collapsed veins from drug addiction, and here I am being taken with my mom as almost a punishment, and like, see, this is where you could be, but it didn't throw me off by any means. I only remember it as a memory of like, it interrupted my social time with my high school friends, but that ended up, the aunt passed away. Flash forward a couple years later, a couple bad boyfriends later, a couple, an expulsion from school, hospital visits, all sorts of things, legal issues, multiple probations in different counties in Michigan, one in Detroit, one in Bloomfield Hills simultaneously that did not find out about each other. All of these things, there were always like little signs that I needed to stop. Like, for instance, when I got pulled over in West Bloomfield for drunk driving at 16 years old, and Officer Halo, that was his name, let me go. That did not stop me. or when friends would not wake up in the morning and they'd die, and I'd go to their funerals. No. It did not stop me. I just thought, don't mix Klonopin with alcohol. That's why so-and-so died, or, whatever. I was always hanging out with people that I was the worst off, and I knew that, and I would always take whatever alcohol or drug excursion we were on to the limit, and I would never be able to let it end. It never could end. I always wanted to continue. There was a couple of things that happened all sequentially in a row where I did not have a license. I was working for my family business, and a friend of mine had gotten sober, my closest friend, so I really didn't have anyone. Nobody knew what I was into or how bad it really was. I was truly alone, so I thought. But there was a moment where, as I'm withdrawing from alcohol and all of the other toxicities in my body, and I'm 20 years old, it's November 18th of 2004. We had just had a huge snowstorm, and it was really cold in Michigan. And I was withdrawing specifically at that moment from narcotics, specifically heroin. I was snorting it and had been for a couple of months, and nobody knew about it except for one old friend. That was really bad news. And he went to prison, so he was gone. Now I couldn't get it. And I was withdrawing on the couch, pretending to have the flu, and I told my family that so that they wouldn't know, but I ended up falling asleep. And in my dream, my aunt, who had passed away, was essentially telling me in a very dark way that I won't get into that I was going to end up just like her, and I was quickly throwing my life away just like her. So I woke up from the dream. I reached out for help, and I've been doing so every single day since that moment. Going to meetings every day for a really long time. My sponsor eventually asking me if I was going to stop going to so many meetings and start living life. And now I'm a sober mom of 3. I got my registered nurse license. I'm a labor and delivery nurse. I'm married. My husband just got sober this year. And the blessings that I could mention would exceed a 7-minute timer. But that one moment, sometimes you only have a moment where you can reach out, but it's on us to reach out. Nobody else can reach out for us in that moment, that one moment that's given to us before maybe we won't have any more of them because of how deep we are into our addiction and our alcoholism. And for whatever reason, I made this decision in that one moment that was super fleeting to reach out. And because of that, I will hopefully celebrate 18 years of sobriety on the 21st of November. And I appreciate if this is shared so that I can help someone else, because that is the only reason I think that God spared me. So I'm grateful for that.